Hello and welcome to the Getting Started video where I will show you how to install and how to start using the BaccS for Windows. The app is distributed in the one self-extracting archive, so it is very easy to install. We just need to extract it. So I launch the file and select where to extract. In this case I will extract it into the disk D and click extract. It takes a few moments and we have the application which is fully ready to using. Let's find the executable file and just launch it. When it launches, we see the empty dashboard. When we will be working, it will be filled with the data with time, but now it is empty. To start working with the app, we have to go to the settings and provide very basic data like our name. I will type it, last name, birthday, time zone, email, country, address, city, zip code, and other details. Phone number, Skype. We can provide web presence site like personal website, Twitter profile page, Facebook, Pros, Translators Cafe, LinkedIn. In the license code, we can paste our license code which we get on the website to turn off the demo mode and switch to the full version. In the application settings, we select base currency, which is already USD. We can select euro or create our own currency. We select default language direction. It is empty and we cannot select it because we still didn't create any languages. And default subject for the appointment when we create new project. In the invoice settings, we select default tax, accent color. I will select one, for example, yellow. We select invoice template. For example, I will select extended because it contains our company logo. And subscription text, for example, thank you for using my services. Also, we may add our logo here. I will switch to a prepared folder. I have two pictures already here, and I will show how to add logo to the app. Just drag and drop image file here, and it will load our logo. Also, there is a button here, load logo. On the CV professional data tab, we can provide details needed to build our custom CV. We select CV template. We have 3 templates. 1, 2, 3, 4 templates. We also can provide CV template file path if we build our own template using built-in designer. It can be accessed here. We select max number of projects included in the CV in our work history, personal slogan, career start year, and some tables containing details about our education, work experience, diplomas, languages, work fields, feedback, references, professional software, other software we use, and custom data table. We can fill in with our custom data and use it in custom scenarios. And the last tab of the settings is restore. And on the restore TO 3000 data, we can import our data from the translation office 3000. To do this, we just click on import TO 3000 data, select our database file, It will be loaded into the app. We check what is loaded here on these tabs. Our jobs, only 2 jobs, invoices, payments, links between invoices and payments, all our reference data, and just click begin import, and import operation starts, and we should get all our data from TO here in BaccS. Also, we may upload our own photo, which may be included into the CV, for example, later. I also switch to the folder I've prepared and drag and drop photo. Not a real photo, but some generic photo. So I save changes, and we already have our basic details about us. Now let's create reference data. Reference data are contained in the catalogs. We have a number of catalogs here. You may click and check what each catalog means, but let's start one by one. Customers catalog contains our customers. They can be categorized by categories. For example, I can create a category named origin, for example, and then agencies. Then I create a new customer. I will call it simply customer 1, name short is C1, address, select category, for example, agencies, rounding to, address, some address, default payment term, invoicing threshold. Invoicing threshold is the amount upon reaching of which the system will remind us to create invoice for this customer. For example, it could be $500. So when we complete some jobs with amount more than $500, the software will tell us it's time to create invoice. First contact date, web portal address, web portal login and password, and contacts. Contacts, actually managers or representative of the accounting department, any contacts. For example, Steven, title, manager, email, steven.c1.com, some phone, and checkbox to tell the system that this contact is used for invoicing matters. Update. On the default rates tab, we can create default rates for each customer. And on the milestones, it is our personal tab. We just may create some custom details, some information about some moments arise during our partnership with this customer. So I save changes, and let's create, just for example, another customer, but this time not create a new row, but we will copy our previously created customer and just change necessary details. For example, I will make it customer 2 and create another manager here, and C1, C2.com, some phone, and check invoicing, click update, save changes. We already have 2 customers. If we select any category here, for example, agencies, we see that there are 2 customers, but if we select origin, it is empty. The next catalog is currencies. We already have 2 currencies here and may create any other which we need. Currency rates contains corresponding currency rates for each currency we work with. If, for example, we selected USD as the base currency, we don't need to add any currency rates here. But, for example, we may create currency rate for the euro. just not to type it manually. We have a function to download rates from the internet automatically. For example, I select 1st of January, currency euro, click OK, and I have downloaded rate on the base of the USD currency, because it is selected as the base currency in our settings. The next catalog is default prices. We may create default prices not for particular customers, but generic default prices which will be applied to any customer which don't have own default rates. Units contains units we work with. For example, it could be words, and for example, hours. What does adjustment factor means? The system contains reports which allow to display aggregate data for a number of jobs or projects, but these jobs can be done in different units. Some jobs are measured in words, some in hours, in lines, pages, and other units. To be able to include all these quantities in one single report, we use adjustment factor. For example, we choose one base unit for which we set adjustment factor as 1. In this case, this is words. Now, when we add hours, we try to compare how much words correspond to 1 hour. And according to my experience, 1 hour corresponds to about 800 words. So I type 800, click update, and now when a report will be built for example, 2000 words and 1 hour, we will get the resulting amount, which equals to 2800. Next catalog is languages. Just the languages we work with. For example, it could be English and my own language, Russian. Language directions. We translate from English into Russian. Update. Work types. It contains types of work we may do. For example, it could be translation or proofreading. Next catalog is fuzzy types. You all know what it means, and when the app is launched for the first time, the basic fuzzy types are created automatically. You may create your own fuzzy types as you like. Work fields contains specializations we work with. It also has categories, so we may create few categories. For example, technical, IT, and work fields in each category. For example, manuals in the category named technical, and software localization in the IT category. That's enough. We create only 2. Taxes contain taxes we pay. For example, it could be VAT and rate 12.20. And payment methods we use to accept payments from our customers. For example, it could be wire USD and the currency is USD. Details, it could be our bank details for the USD account, Swift code here, and other details needed to make a payment. And for example, let's create another one for euro. Details, bank details for euro. That's all reference data, and when we have it, we may start to create our first project and job. So let's close all the tabs. By the way, we can switch between the tabs by using Control Tab key. You can see that I'm clicking and see preview of each tab. So let's close everything, even dashboard we can close. Let's go to the Documents tab and select Projects. Let's create a project. The project in this software means some aggregate of jobs, for example, and we can see how many words we translated in this project and when it has been started, when it was the last date when we worked on this project. And these projects, for example, could be included into the CV to show our potential customers our portfolio. So let's choose any customer, working field, some interesting project, language direction. Of course, it will be English Russian for me. Quantity, we cannot edit this because it will be automatically calculated when we will create new jobs. So we created a project, and now we can turn to the main part of the app, to creation of the job. We have a few options to create the job. Let's start from the basic option. We select translation projects in the documents and select add new row and start filling the data. It will be our first project. We get it on today. The term will be, for example, tomorrow. We select status, for example, processing. We mark that we already have POR for this job. We got it today, and the project name will be, for example, translation of the manual for the engine. Currency, let's select euro, which is different currency from our base currency. We select customer contact. It's all automatically selected because we have only one contact for this customer. Then we select work field. It will be technical manuals, and select the project. We already created one to which this job belongs. And in the project details table, we just describe this job: how much words, which fuzzy types, how much hours we spent, which rates. We can fill this table manually or import analysis reports from Traders or MemoQ. To start editing manually, just double click here and select work type, for example translation fuzzy type, for example no match, quantity, for example to 2000 unit words, and the rate. Amount is calculated automatically, and you can see here that we have currency rate applied from the currency rates catalogs, and it is 100 euro automatically recalculated to our base currency according to this currency rate. Also, we may have, as I told, default rates for the customer or generic default rates. For example, if I switch to the catalogs, go to the default prices, and let's create some default rate. It will be for the translation, for the fuzzy type, no match, and the price will be 0.05, and currency euro. Update. And let's create another default rate. Also, let's select translation as work type, but we won't select fuzzy type, and let's create the price like 0.03 and also it will be for euro. Update. Now let's go back to our translation job and let's delete the row and create a new one and select, for example, translation. And you see that the default rate 0.03 is applied. But if we select fuzzy type as no match and go to the next column, another default rate is applied, which is created for the no match fuzzy type. And we provide quantity, unit, and we have the final amount. To import analysis data from the traders or MemaQ, we have two buttons here: import analysis from SDL traders and from MemaQ. Also, we simply can drag and drop the file to this table. So switch to our prepared folder, take analysis report from traders in XML format and drag and drop here. The application will create necessary rows and apply default rates to these rows. You can see that 0.05 is applied only to the no match fuzzy type. The same with MemaQ report. Drag and drop. We have only two rows in this report and also applied rates, of course, with final amount. So let's save our first translation job, and we see that it is selected with a green color in our translation jobs list. We also can create a new job just by copying the previously, but first let's check our projects list, and we see that quantity is not 0 already because we created a job which corresponds to this project. Let's go to the dashboard, and you can see that we already have the first project here. We already have some charts with statistical chart. We have only one color here because there is only one project and one work field. And monthly results. We also can see that we earned something in October. We see balance statement with our customer 1 and amount in currency of the job and in the base amount. We already see that we can create invoice for this customer because the total amount of our first job is more than 300 euro, $300 we provided for this first customer. So if we will double click here on this rectangular, then a new invoice will be created. Also, we can create a new invoice from the translation jobs list. Just select necessary job. Let's me to create another job. It will be the second one. I copy the previous, also select as processing, select main project, and let me change some words. Let's say it will be 50,000. Save and close. We have already two projects here, and we can see that no invoice was issued for this job. So we with the control key we select both jobs and click create invoice. Invoice is created, customer 1 is already selected here, currencies is already selected, and two jobs are added here. Here we can select which payment methods can customer use to pay us. As soon as we should get euro, we deselect USD. bank account. And let's save our first invoice. Let's go back to translation jobs, and we see that we already have invoice here. Let's go to the invoices. We have the first invoice. It is not paid still. The full amount is due. We can print it. Just click on the invoice row and click print invoice. We will get our invoice form according to settings. We have our company logo here and description of all jobs included in the invoice. On the left pane we can change some invoice parameters. For example, we can change color or another template, for example minimalistic or default. Invoice can be saved in many different formats: PDF, Excel files, image file, or you can send it by email. Your default mail client will be launched and the invoice will be attached as the file. Let's close it. Also, I forgot to mention that when we create a new job, we can print a quote for this job. Just select any job and click print quote. The same as with the invoice, you get the printing form of the quote. So we have a quote, and now we would like to get the payment for this. We can go to the documents, select payments, create new payment, but it could be done automatically. Just select necessary invoice or many invoices we would like to get the payment for, and click create payment. A new payment will be created. Customer is already pre-selected, amount corresponds to the selected invoice, and table is filled with the selected invoices. In this case there is only one invoice. Just click save changes and close. Let's refresh the data, and you can see that we already have fully paid invoice and due is 0. If we will switch to the translation jobs, also refresh, we will see that status is changed from sent to paid. So these rows are already gray and both jobs are already paid. Let's go to the dashboard. Let's refresh the data, and we can see that we don't have unpaid invoice and nothing to invoice. Balance statement is empty because customer doesn't owe us anything. Now I'm going to show you how reports work in the system. At the moment we have only 3 reports. Of course there will be more with time, but now it is only the basis. Let's check the first report, which is called customer balance statement. In this report you can see all transactions between you and any customer you have in the database. So we can see that the report is created for the period from the beginning of the year till today when I record this video. We have only one customer, so there is only one table here, and you can see that we have only transactions only in euro with this customer. There are 4 transactions. We have payment, we have project, and another project. So to show you how another reports work, I will go to the settings and click the button create demo data, because we only have 2 projects and it's difficult to show how another reports work when we have lack of that data. So let's click create demo data. Yeah. Now we have many different jobs and projects and invoices in the system. Let's check it. We have about I don't know how much, but many jobs for last 3 years. Now let's go to the reports and select charts. And we have such a beautiful chart which show us how many words we translated in different work fields. You can see list of work fields here and the chart itself here. We can create it, for example, for previous 3 years. You can select any dates you like here, just few buttons to pre-select some default periods. Then click generate report. We have refreshed data. Now let's switch to another tabs we have here. There are 3 tabs: number of projects, which show us how much projects we made in each month of each year. We have some checkboxes here to hide unnecessary years, you see, and gainings, which show in base currency how much we earn each month of each year. At the moment there are only 3 charts, but I will be listing what you want to see here and add more tabs here. And word stats report allows us to view how much we translate in words in each work field in any period we like, for example, and for any work type we like. Demo data contains only translation jobs, but if we would have another work types, for example, proofreading, we will have it here below. And we see that for the all time we translated these amounts of words for each work field. We can hide some unnecessary years. The data is updated. For example, only Q4 of the year 2015. So we see what we done in fourth quarter. Or we can select any. Sorry, it is in Russian. Months are in Russian here, but you will see them in English in your version. For example, for December. Or hide some fields. For example, let's leave only software localization, so we can see how much we translated in software localization field in December of the 2015 year. Very flexible report where you can get some interesting data about your performance for last time. Let me show how the dashboard looks for when you have some data in the database. Also, let me show how the scheduler works. When you create any job in the system, the application automatically creates a new appointment in the scheduler. So here we see, for example, if I will switch to the month view, we can see that something is already created when demo data was created. We see that we work on some projects for some customers. We also have timeline view here. So if I will scroll to some period where we was working on the project for different customers, so you can see that we have one row for one customer and second row for second customer. If there will be more customers, let me find, maybe there will be 3 rows. Unluckily, I can't find it now. Here is, we have even 4 rows. So depending which period we are viewing, the corresponding amount of rows we see here in the view. And at the end, let me show you some hints while working with the dashboard. It is fully customized and you can change its layout as you wish. For example, you can drag and drop all these panes. For example, let's drag it here. We can drag balance statement here. We can make any number of columns and rows as we like. Just stick it to wherever you like. Also, all panes can be hidden. Just click close. All closed panes are listed here, so if you would like to restore it, just click on them and they will appear again. Instead of closing, you can hide it, auto hide. For example, let's hide unpaid invoices, and we see that they appear when we move our mouse on the label. And few hints about working with translation jobs list. It also have a lot of customizations. For example, if we would like to get another aggregate except of base amount, we click right with the right button under any column we would like to get aggregate and choose aggregate function. For example, in this case, I would like to get a number of jobs added. So we see that we have 150 jobs. Or we may have a number of aggregates for each column. For example, I would like to see average of one translation job. Just click average here. So we have two aggregates. We may customize conditional formatting here. For example, if you don't like how the rows are colorized by default, you can change it. Just click here with right button, select conditional formatting and click manage rules. We see that we have three rules for status column and checkboxes that say that this rule will be applied to the whole row. We can deselect this and select a column, apply, so only status column is colorized with these colors. Of course, we can change color itself. We may have many, as you see, we may have many rules, conditional rules. Some of them can be created automatically. For example, let me create such a rule for the amount. I select conditional formatting, select data bars and some colors. Some color I like, for example, orange data bar. Now we see visual representation of each amount here. We can filter a list by different conditions. For example, we may have different statuses. We may select different dates. For example, today, tomorrow, yesterday, earlier this week, earlier this year. We may select different customers to display. And if any filter condition is applied to the column, you see this icon near the column name. Also, we have search field. For example, let me type number 7, and this number will be highlighted everywhere in the list. If I will make another 7, it finds only one row which contains 77. Let me erase. Also, we have filter editor here and here. So we may create as many filtering conditions as we like. Also, we may group the list. Let me delete all the filters and show you how grouping works. We just drag and drop any column name to this upper field. Here you see 2 rows here. I drop the column and get the list which is grouped by the customer. I can expand the customer and see all the jobs for this particular customer and some totals for each group. Groups can be internal, so I can drag another column to the grouping row. For example, we may group by customer and then by currency. So when I expand the first group, I see internal group. For example, if we would have jobs in different currencies, then we get 2 groups here under the customer, but in this case we have only one in euro. Then expand the last group. Each group has totals, and at the end it has a list of projects. Well, I think the video is long enough and you're already tired to watch it. So I have to say thank you for watching, for listening, and to say sorry for my speaking English. I know that there are many mistakes in it. Sorry for that. I will try to fix it in future videos. So, goodbye.